It's a hot day in McHenry. You want some lovin's? Did you want some lovin's? Hello, dum-dum. Hello. You being a good girl? Yeah. 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 Well, hey folks, trying to make a camp talk, but my neighbor's dog, she don't want to leave me alone. Go play in the road. The road's a dirt road, only 2 or 3 people drive on it. Hey, this is Will from Mississippi Homestead Journey. I just got done weed eating some of this area. This is the area that I got ready for camping. It's my main camping area. I don't know if I'll be camping tonight or not. It's about 117 right now with the heat index, and it doesn't really cool down till about 10, 11 at night, and the low is supposed to be about 77, 78, so that's not real comfortable. I got a battery powered fan though, so I might just camp out anyway. I just want to let you know a little bit about me and what's going on here. So back in last September, actually last August, a friend of mine at work that lives in this area, he's a travel nurse and he's over in Florida. I had told him I was looking for some land. He told me that his mom's second cousin, or whatever she is, had some land for sale right near his. So I went ahead and called, and it took a little while, but I had prayed, and all this happened. So we were supposed to close October 1st, but the lady that was going to sell it to me was in her upper 80s. She had never put her mother's will in probate, which her mother had died 35, 40 years previously. So the will had to go through probate. So then it finished in the end of January. Well, God bless her soul, but she passed away a couple of days after that. So the land had to go through probate a second time. So finally, May 19th, I was able to close and purchase the land, paid off in full, and my birthday was the next day, May 20th. So that was a nice 62nd birthday present. And I came up here the next weekend, which was Memorial Day weekend. It was still pretty nice then, and the nights were still in the upper 60s. It was pretty nice. So I camped some. Got this area cleaned. Had to use loppers, machete, weed eater. I think I used a chainsaw on one. Just a little bit down that way, I'll show you later, I cleaned out another area. And I started cleaning an area over there, but there's fire ants everywhere. I poured some poison on them a couple weekends ago, so I'm going to go see if that worked. I hate using poison, but fire ants got a couple bites on me and about a month ago, and they're just disappearing now. The other ants that bit me, those go away in a day or two, but fire ants, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, about 3 weeks ago, my friend who turned me on to the land, and he lives next door, he brought his Kubota tractor over with a bush hog and cleaned up some area, which I showed in my last video, and did a good job. But I'm raring to go. I don't know if forestry mulching is going to be the way to go or just regular land clearing. I'm not sure. I'm thinking for pasture that forestry mulching will be fine, but where I want to put a greenhouse and a garden, I want the roots out. So I'm thinking I'm just going to get a couple acres 2 to 4 acres cleared with track hoe, bulldozer, whatever they need to use. And then I might get forestry mulching to do some other work. But I'm going to call and see how much they are, because I was driving the other day in the back country here just to cool down after working, and I saw a bunch of signs for land clearing and forestry mulching and such. So we'll see. But I got one little area, not too bad, over here, big enough for a 40-foot shipping container. I want to put a fence up too, though, and a gate especially, and to keep the gib goobs away. This isn't a real high crime area, but since I'm not here 24/7, you know, people have been known to steal gates. People have been known to do a lot of stuff when there's nobody around. I got a neighbor to the north, and that was his dog. That was here earlier, and she's a good dog, but she doesn't get much attention. He comes and feeds her twice a day, and that's about the most attention she's got until I started showing up. And she was real skittish at first, but now she just jumps on me. She jumped on me and scratched my arm pretty good, so, but she couldn't help it. She didn't mean to. I'm just cooling down in the shade right now. About 95 degrees. Not too bad. There's a slight breeze. Look for any shade you can get. I don't know if you can see it, but that's where the dog scratched me, and since I'm sweating so bad, it bled pretty good. Plus I take an aspirin, so that's what happened there. Nope. Here comes the dog. Look out, goober. That's all my property. You can see there's some big trees. Zoom back a little bit. Luckily, the guy that did this, he left some pine trees for seed trees, so thank goodness for that. There's the dumb dog. There's the fire ant man. I don't see any fire ants right now. If you look close, you can see some of those white pellets. We got a lot of rain since then, so they stayed. I don't see any fire ants. I think it drove them away. I'm sure it didn't kill them all. When you poison fire ants or dump hot water or whatever you're going to do, the best you can hope for, usually, without using really serious chemicals, is for them to move somewhere else. So I'm sure if I searched around a little bit, I'd find a nest within 20, 30, 50 feet. There's the dumb silly dog. There's blackberries literally everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And these are huckleberries. You can see the huckleberries. I thought about calling this place Huckleberry Farms because there's so many huckleberries on this place. And yopon. There's a lot of yopon too. I never ran out of caffeine. That's for sure. Here's some nice shade right here. A little bit of a wind, nice breeze, some shade. Feels great. Here's an area I cleaned up. Big enough for a shipping container. It might not look like it, but it's plenty big. This is like 45 feet or so away, or maybe a little bit more. When it gets closer to dark, I'll come clear this area back out, because I spent a lot of time clearing this areas out, so don't want all of them get too overgrown. An old dead pine tree. A little bit worried about our snaky friends around here. Get more blackberries. Yeah, these peach trees have been here for a while to make some nice mulch. Once the weather cools down, probably November, I'll probably start trying to chop them up a little bit and start making a mulch pile. But right now, I just let the snakes have them. There's Uncle Buster's place. There's some wild grapes. They're kind of all over the place too. I've only seen one place that had any actual grapes on it though. And this little area is where the mailman turns around, or mail person. It's a woman a lot of times. And there's where the mailboxes are. I got to get a house number, a street number or whatever. And then I can get my own mailbox. This shade sure is nice. Part of my plan is to start, once I get enough cleared, start putting up some fencing. I want to get chickens, and then I want to get some goats to help me possibly clear. I heard they clear really well. I don't know for sure, but we'll see. I see some poison ivy over there. Oh no. Doesn't bother me too much though, so it's not a big deal. I would like to get a milk cow and possibly some steers. Danny and Wanda say that the Dexters are good, and they'll eat a lot of the foliage and brush. So I might get some of them too. And I'm only about maybe 10 miles from Danny and Wanda. They're somewhere that way somewhere, I think. I don't know exactly where they live yet. I haven't met them yet. I've just talked to them online a little bit. And hope to see them tonight, because it's Saturday, and looking forward to another live stream with them. There's old Dob. She's thirsty. Now let's see these dog tracks. I took a picture Memorial Day weekend of a really big track. Might have been a bear, I don't know. It was really big, but the sand had collapsed around it a little bit because it was dry, but it was a big track. It was wide, almost looked like a bobcat, but you could see the claws, and a friend of mine told me that they usually don't walk around with their claws out. So maybe a bear. Too big to be a coyote. Coyotes aren't much bigger than her. She's a medium-sized dog. She's a good dog, she just doesn't have no manners. She's getting a little bit better. It is so thick because they cleared 6-8 years ago. They clear cut it, and then all this grew up. And I mean, I found some deer paths, but the deer could get through a lot of areas, but some areas barely. That's why I found some deer trails. They probably don't come out too much with her around. Further south down here, I've seen a lot of deer tracks. Well, 40 acres of nothing. Gotta love it. There's my Honda Accord. I have to drive 3 hours and 8 minutes, I think, from my house to here, so this thing gets really good mileage, so lucky for that. Well, this is my first camp talk, so the battery's about to die on that thing, so I'm gonna pack it up for now, and I want to get a lawnmower, because I think a lawnmower would demolish a lot of this stuff, and compared to a weed eater. And I need one at the house anyway. Mine died. You used to be able to get a lawnmower for $100, $120, and they'd last 3 or 4, 5, 6 years. But now you pay $150, $180, $200. Now they're like, for just a plain old lawnmower, 20-inch cut, Briggs & Stratton motor, you're paying $250 now. And it does have the adjustments to raise the deck up and down, but that's it. And no bag or nothing, and $247. And that was the best price I could find. And I was actually looking on Craigslist, because sometimes you can find like somebody gets these old ones that don't run and that people like me throw out, and then they fix them up for like $35, $45. But I haven't been able to find any of those lately because I probably have to buy them in the winter or whatever, early spring when nobody wants them. So I'll probably do that next year just to get a banger, because it's nice to have a banger that you don't care if you bend the shaft or something and then you don't have much money into it. But for $247, that thing better last me 5, 6 years. But the last one I bought for like $180, it lasted me 1 season, and I used non-ethanol gas, kept the oil topped off. In fact, I even changed the oil after about 12 hours, and it lasted 1 season. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching.